You are now listening to a Rabble Press podcast.
If you're the type of person who would download an episode recap, you probably already know what's going on. Or you're like me and just love spoilers. But that being said, this podcast most surely contains Game of Thrones spoilers. You've been warned, spoilers are coming.
Let's get started with Reigns of Podcast Mirror. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Well, yeah.
Is it what is up?
Yes, that is the one. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Reigns of Podcast Mirror. My name is Chris Taylor. With me today, I have Mark Bunn.
Hey, hey, hey.
And Tay Kuttner.
Hey, guys.
Hello. So here we are, episode 3 of season 8, titled The Long Night, and our continuing series of If We Give It a Year, is season 8 any better?
Nope.
And the answer is nope. There's a lot of those nopes in this one. I don't have a lot of notes because obviously this episode doesn't have a lot of dialogue.
I have a lot of notes. A lot of it is me checking the time.
Okay,
and
cool.
writing down how much time is still left.
You want to know what my first note is?
Yeah.
1 hour and 21 minutes. Why? Remember being excited that these episodes were going to be super long? Do you remember we were excited for that?
Not this one. Can I make just my overall hypothesis for this episode?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing the outcome.
Yes.
Of even just this episode.
Right.
Of who lives and who dies.
Yeah.
Zero tension. This episode does not stand up to a rewatch.
No, and that's the thing. Like when you go back and you look at the great battle episodes of this show, you look at Battle of Blackwater, you look at the Battle of Castle Black, the Battle of the Bastards, even though Battle of the Bastards, you always knew where it was going right from the start. Like you knew that the Vale was going to show up and save the day. Like you knew that's how it was going to play out. Hardhome, which, you know, that was in my downfall of the show era, but Hardhome is still a really good battle scene. And it was the first time he did the
hands.
Yeah. So I don't know, like like you said, it doesn't hold up. There's nothing super exciting in this episode. I'll give it this. I do still really like the Arya bit. And I like the scene with her and Melisandre and the Hound.
I have notes about that too. Like there's some parts.
But this episode does crush Mark's theory about the Lord of Light doing nothing. Because without the Lord of the Light, the trench never gets lit.
Well, I have a couple moments.
Why wasn't lit to begin with?
What's that?
Why wasn't lit to begin with?
Well, I got so many strategy questions in here. Like their whole strategy.
But the whole was the whole point of the Lord of Light was to light the trench because anyone could have done that.
No, no. But see, here's the thing.
Lord of Light kept it lit.
But it's not even about that. The Lord of Light brought Beric Dondarrion back, 7 times, whatever it was. And Beric was there to save Arya so she could go and finish the fight.
Because somehow he stopped a bunch of whites in a hallway from getting past him to get to Arya. Somehow.
But Arya was dead. Arya was dead on the floor. Like, she was dead if he doesn't come down. And again, it's not great writing. I'm not defending the writing.
That's my point.
What I'm saying is
they built up this whole Lord of the Light and Night King feud to like epic proportions.
Mm-hmm. And
then the end result was like, what?
Yep. Got a lot of questions.
How many answers did you get?
None.
0.
I kept trying to find meanings, so a lot of my notes, as we'll go through, have is this maybe an allegory?
Okay. I don't think Dan and Dave I don't think they know what an allegory is.
I think it was just really, really...
And they spell it with 1 L.
Right.
Here are some words that rhyme with Corey.
That's exactly what I was thinking. We have a problem. Yeah. Hey, we should do a Simpsons podcast.
Absolutely.
Okay, since apparently Disney Plus is fixing all the episodes.
I heard.
Yeah, next month they're fixing all the episodes, so I'll go back and I'll do a rewatch of that.
What they do have, I know some of the psych eggs are cut off, but there was each episode has its like full version, and they cut 1 or 2 bits
Oh, really?
for broadcast.
Yeah.
And when they went into syndication, some stations would show the full version.
Oh, okay.
So like I just watched the Camp Krusty episode, and he talks about going to Wimbledon, and then Wimbledon.
Yes.
And there is a clip of him then at Wimbledon pissing off the Queen that usually gets cut.
Oh, really?
So
Well,
they have like the full.
I know one of the scenes they always cut is when they're at Lollapalooza, and he's like, "Oh, that guy's guitar's talking," and Otto looks down, and he's like, "My shoes are talking." That they cut that scene. Because obviously it's a major drug reference, but
Yeah, not a scene I understood as a child when I watched it.
No, I might have. I think I was old enough to understand it at that point. That was the mid '90s.
Mommy,
Yeah.
Daddy.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, okay. So let's get into the episode.
We are Scotch sporting style, avoiding talking about what we don't want to talk to. But
exactly.
please,
So
go on.
the first thing I do as it starts, and you see Sam and Leanna and everyone's just like getting ready, and it's like nothing's happening. And so the first thing I do is I click the little button on the bottom of my monitor, and I go to settings, and I go to brightness 100, contrast 100. And then I had anything else on my screen was like super washed out, but at least I could see what was happening in Game of Thrones.
Do you want to know what my very first note is?
Yes.
I maxed up my brightness, put my glasses on, and I still had trouble seeing.
Same. I still had a very hard time making things out.
My very first note is I turned up the brightness on my monitor.
So,
guys, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't rewatch the episode.
Oh,
instead, I chose to watch the Helm's Deep fight.
Oh, okay. I mean, you could do
A
that.
properly lit fighting scene,
Right?
Properly
That takes place at night.
Fighting scene.
Yeah. The only thing
How
I don't
will
like
you know
about the
that
Helm's
this
Deep,
rewatch is terrible.
the only thing I don't like about the Helm's Deep thing is like the dude with the like it was basically like a football player running in with the bomb.
With the
it was
torch,
super cheesy, but that's
Reminds me of the Helm's Deep fight.
it was the one at night where all the orcs and the thing that orcs do is they put a bomb in the sewer.
Oh, you're talking about Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Got it. I have a Lord of the Rings reference in my notes too.
Yes. All right, let's get to the notes then. All right, so lots of prep work. Oh, look, there's the dragons. Unsullied are in lines. Oh, look, there's the Dothraki. Look at all these dramatic shots of people who aren't going to die. Like,
I thought
all these shots, and it's just panning across their faces, and it's like none of them are gonna die. There's no tension in this episode.
See, I thought it was still tense at the beginning. Like I was still like, because I felt empathy for the characters.
Right.
Of like, oh man, can you? So as a child, I hated and loved playing hide and seek.
Right.
Because I hated the waiting for someone to find me because I knew they were going to.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know when. So any time of like, okay, I know something's coming, but I don't know specifically when.
Yeah.
Really bothers me. Hence why I don't like surprise parties.
Right.
But okay. My note is very simple. Lineup of all your favorite characters. Remember, this was supposed to be a bloodbath.
Right. And this is it. Like I think we expected like half the cast was going to be dead after this episode.
But looking through the lens of like the characters, or when we first saw it, when I was still restarting this episode, all happy-go-lucky, I was like, okay, this is like, they did a good job really building the tension.
Right.
I thought.
So then we see
even leading up to the episode, because you had the 2 previous episodes leading up all these tensions, like, okay, we're setting up these goodbyes now.
Yeah.
Get ready for, some hard losses. And then you get the episode, it's like...
Just kidding.
Just
it's
kidding. Jorah. And it's like Jorah's story was done. So, I mean, it makes sense, but it wasn't like... And you can't have Jorah see her go bad. I think that's the most important thing, is that Jorah never sees her go bad. Because what would Jorah do if he was there when she burns down King's Landing? How would Jorah feel about that?
No different than everyone else.
But he wouldn't have Jon Snow. That's a good point. Look at us trying to find good things about this episode.
Exactly.
That's good. Yeah, I don't
So
know.
we do
I
get
like
a shot of Ghost, which I was very happy with. And then they showed Jorah, and I'm like, oh, Jorah, you're dead. And then
Like military-wise, like what was the point of that initial charge?
Oh, friend. Okay.
So hold on before you get to
Let's
that.
talk strategy.
So
I have my first time check.
okay,
I checked the time and it was 6:06.
yeah,
6 minutes and 6 seconds into the episode with my note of this is when I'd shoot myself.
right. So you forgot a part, Mark, because my Milky Lady shows up and lights all their swords on fire.
For some reason, is the only one to show up. Where the hell are all the other red priestesses?
Don't worry about it. She's got all the Lord of Light stuff under control. I don't know why, Mark. Why you gotta be so against religion? That's all I'm saying.
How did you even get here, you might ask?
Right.
From the same direction as the dead, no less.
No, she came from
Just
the
bypassed
side.
them.
She came from the side. They're in front. She was on the side. Anyways,
Where did you come from and how did you get there? I don't know.
who cares?
We'll never know.
They
She
just
was
forgot.
busy having a baby off screen in real life.
Was she really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I did not know that.
She is Mrs. Guy Pearce, who is on my list for people that should be more famous than they are.
Yes, 100%. Guy Pearce is
He's had some
insanely
awesome
talented. Insanely talented.
Yeah.
Okay. So flaming swords. Okay, so I have a few thoughts about flaming swords because of this episode. One, how do they film it? Like, are they actually on fire or is it all CG? Because it looks real.
My guess would be it's a couple of them and it's real and they just duplicated it over and over and over.
And then let's go specifically Barrack, because Barrack has his flaming sword a lot in this episode, and he's walking in the corridors, and you can see and I'm just like, is there like little tubes in it that are?
Yeah, like the torch, the Olympic torch that you run with.
Yeah.
How fucking hot is it to hold that thing?
Oh, incredibly! I would imagine.
Like, I wouldn't want that thing. And he's got it, like, right beside his... I don't want that beside my face. But then I noticed I started being very cognizant of the fact that every shot with him was super quick cuts, like, no longer than 10, 15 seconds.
I was going to say, yeah. You can easily edit that to make it look like it's long.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
it's covered with something that can light on fire. Yeah, and then it's just like, okay, it's out now. Cut. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry to take us off track. All right. So
what else is there to talk about? It's my only note for this scene is, oh right, the Dothraki.
right. So Davos lets her into the castle, and she says, "Don't worry, you don't need to execute me. I'll be dead by dawn."
Evil Dead. Dead by Dawn.
I
Dead
love
by Dawn.
it. That's it. Because when she doesn't say "dead by dawn," but she says something, and I just
I'll be dead in the morning by
this
sunrise.
whole thing reminds me of Army of Darkness. Like this whole episode reminds me of Army of Darkness.
So this is an overarching thing that again I was searching for meaning, and maybe we can talk about it at the end. I think that like her dying at the end, it's like, okay, you've served your purpose.
Right. 100%.
So I know we're doing the rewatch and then we're gonna go through all the characters. So then maybe our lens is, did the characters serve a purpose? And their purpose.
Yes, figuring out what their purpose was. Did they serve it effectively? Did
that affect the overall story? Because hers did. Like hers, 100%. Was clearly like, okay, you are still here because you have to affect something. You affected it. Your story's over. Goodbye. Was it a good story with the Red Woman? No.
Not
Do
really.
I have a lot of questions? Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay.
Where are all the other red priestesses?
So let's talk strategy since we keep alluding to it, and let's discuss their strategy. So my understanding of their strategy, their grand strategy, is we're gonna put Bran in the Godswood because we know the Night King's gonna come for Bran. We're gonna surround Bran with Ironborn, with 5 Ironborn, who I can understand Theon being there because he feels he owes the Starks. But imagine
Karstarks were there too, weren't they?
What's that?
Karstarks were there too, weren't they?
In the Godswood?
I thought it was
with
just
the Ironborn.
I think it was just Ironborn. And so imagine being one of those other Ironborn dudes and like, I didn't fucking burn this castle down. Why am I here?
Because I guess you're following the Greyjoys are now sworn bannermen
Right. I get okay.
to Jon and Daenerys,
Right.
and these men are under the orders of Theon.
Right. Okay. Still sucks. Because you're on the death, like you're going to die. There's no
Yes.
and so you're gonna have Theon and the Ironborn surrounding Bran with the worst possible weapon choice you could make, which is arrows.
Yep.
Which run out, which of course
Yes.
happened.
Yes.
Why you don't just have swords and shields and like surround him with the shield? You know, you ever seen 300? Like how they do the shield shit, pop, pop, pop. Like that stuff's so effective.
They do that in Lord of the Rings as well.
Right.
That used to be military strategy. Is they'd march in a square,
Mm-hmm.
and the general would be in the middle, and then it would be.
And they did the Unsullied did something
square.
similar to that in this episode. Made the square, and Melisandre came out to light the thing, and she walked really slow. I'm like, wouldn't you be in more of a hurry? But
No.
again,
No, I
Okay.
got the Lord Light on my side.
so this is their first part of the strategy: is to have the bait
Great.
ready to
Love
go.
It. Love
So
it.
then you have all of your armies outside of a trench that
The
has
trench is behind the lines,
that
by
has
the way.
spikies and that you can light on fire. This whole trench that goes all the way around Winterfell, I assume. We didn't really see it go all the way around, but I assume that it does. So your plan is that you're going to have the armies on the outside of the trench. You're going to fight a bit. You're going to wait for half of your army to die, and then you're going to pull back beyond the trench, which is about this deep, by the way. And then when the trenches, so then the trenches are going to be on fire, but the dragons are going to come and light the trenches, but they can't see the signal, so she has to go out like whatever. This strategy, first of all, shouldn't the trench be, I don't know, 6 feet wide and like 12 feet
In
deep?
front.
And 12 feet
And in
deep?
front.
Like,
Yeah.
don't you
Or
want
like-
it to be where they can't easily climb out of it?
Or like
put
two, maybe build a second trench.
Or build a
Regardless,
second trench?
the forces should have been behind the trenches because you have the catapults there.
Mhm.
So while they're trying to get through the trenches, catapult their
Yeah.
asses and have the dragons come by and do a sweep.
And the
then they're
dragons
just
should have
chilling
just
standing.
been, the dragons should have just been sweeping, just
Oh, I have notes on the dragons. But if I can get back to actual military strategy again, in World War One, people were lambs to the slaughter for the first couple years of World War One because military strategy hadn't kind of gone much past that marching square that we were just talking about. And it was just like whoever has the most bodies to throw at a situation wins.
right.
But the Canadians were one of the first to like really think about military strategy. So one of the, I believe it was Vimy Ridge, although come at me historians, they decided to like basically shoot a curtain and march behind this curtain. So it's you know, cannons and artillery
Right.
firing further than you,
Right.
and you walk behind the artillery shells.
Yeah.
So you like, why did the Dothraki run out first? No. You fire your big weapons.
And here's the other thing about the Dothraki. We see every Dothraki run out, and then all the little fires go out, and then like 6
That
of
is
them
a
run
great
back.
thing.
No, it's, and don't get me wrong, the photography of that scene is fantastic. The idea of that scene is fantastic. What bothers me is it looked like all of the Dothraki, and then when we get to King's Landing by the end of the season, it's like filled with Dothraki.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
thought the whole army was here.
No, the very next episode,
Right.
Grey Worm says half of them are gone. Not
Half?
the whole thing.
Half? Well, where were the other half?
The other half, yeah.
Like the way this episode looked was that the army was decimated. And actually,
Yeah.
decimated is the wrong word because decimated means down by 10. And
This
this
is
is like
Literally all
This is
the
annihilation. Annihilation.
perfect. That's a much better word.
So again, strategy wise, have you guys seen the South Park movie?
I have.
Of course.
Yeah.
I
Operation.
feel like Operation Get Behind the Darkies.
Yeah.
And the plan was just to send
Right.
all of the colored people out
Yeah.
of them all be killed.
It is the North. We did discuss in both the previous episodes how they feel about brown people.
So I love, like, I did love, if we can find something to love, I did love all of the lights going out, because you could see that coming from a mile away.
Right.
It would feel extremely cool.
It did. And their reactions to it. Like, they showed Jamie's face, and Jamie was just like, oh, fuck. Like, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know what they expected. Like, you know that the Army of the Dead is, like...
Massive.
And the literal visual of everyone charging and the ghost riding beside.
Right.
Jorah.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. And then
Very
and then
cool.
they come running back with their
But
tails
yeah, then
between
my-
their legs.
My note was, feels like offense is a very bad strategy in this case.
It really,
Especially when you don't have the numbers on your side.
It's really because what should have been happening is those dragons should have been just laying waste.
Sleeping. Yeah. And then they pick off any stragglers coming from that first wave.
All right, so
I
I
don't-
mean, even look at 300. I mean, the guys were outnumbered, and what they do, they made the other forces channel into a thin, narrow
right,
path.
you
that
funnel
they
them
can-
through. You funnel them through so
Yeah.
you can control the fight.
Yeah.
Like a brand, if Brand's going to be the bait, that needs to be the apex of the funnel.
Right.
Yes.
Why are you spreading out around? Why are you bothering to lead an offense?
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. So let's get past their idiotic strategy and how they ever won.
Just won at them.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, let's try it. See what happens. Okay, so
I believe we are at my next time check, 13:25. If I haven't already killed myself, this is when I do it.
so then we see Jon and Daenerys, and Jon says the Night King is coming, and then Daenerys says the dead are already here. What kind of writing is this? Like,
It's season 8 writing.
seriously, this show used to have interesting writing, and it doesn't. Okay. Dragonfire, I don't know what that. Oh, just they start, and they should have been doing this 15
Yeah.
minutes ago.
Yeah, my note is, hey, everyone, get inside, and then we'll torch them all as they approach the castle.
So John's flying, and he looks down, and there's all the White Walkers lined up by the edge of the forest. And they start, like, this blast of, like, winter air comes blowing in, and he can't see anything. And then this is what causes it, so Daenerys can't see the signal to light the trench. If the White Walkers can control the weather like this, why are they not making the whole battlefield a blizzard right now and have the complete upper hand? Like, imagine it was minus 40 degrees. You were so cold you couldn't even hold the sword.
just a visual.
Because bad writing.
Right. And then Arya tells Sansa to go inside and gives her the, stick him with the pointy end. We get it.
I said, nice callback.
Yeah. But my note is literally, stick him with the pointy end. We get it.
Couldn't see that one coming.
No. Okay. Then we get Theon in the Godswood. What?
12 people, my note. 12 people against the Night King. That'll do it.
That'll do it. Yep. Okay, so lots of fighting. Okay, so Ed dies.
Yeah, you can, like, knowing nothing happened.
Yeah.
How boring.
I forgot that he died, though. I forgot that he died in this. So I'm as soon as Sam went down, I'm like, oh, right. And then Ed saves him, and I'm like, And then
Poor
and the
cannon fodder.
blood shoots out of his
His plot
mouth.
armor wasn't as big or thick as
No.
Sam's.
Oh, Sam has all the plot armor, right? So.
Oh my god.
Okay, so then the trench won't light. Wow, I have so few notes. Like, because
once the fighting started,
it's just
I totally zoned out.
right. Okay, so trench won't light, so she walks out, and the Dothraki make the line for her, and she's like, "Why would she walk so slow?" There's
Dramatic
something-
purposes.
There's something important going on, and so the one thing I like about this scene, the one thing I really really like about this scene, so she puts her hands on the trench, and she's saying her whatever, and she's saying it, and she's saying it, and she's realizing that it's not working, and you see her in that moment questioning everything that she's ever done. She questions everything.
Yeah,
and then
that
it
was a
works.
great moment.
And
But the sword lit on fire pretty quickly.
sure, but when she needed it the most, it wasn't answering. And
They needed that 10 minutes ago.
So this is my Lord of the Rings question.
okay,
So I am not a Lord of the Rings. I
haven't watched them in a long time, but I will try to help.
I've seen all of them. I haven't seen any of the Hobbits, but I've seen all the Lord of the Rings.
The first Hobbit's okay. Everything else sucks.
And I remember with I think it's the third one. That's the big battle, right?
Yep, with the ghosts.
When what's his face? Aragorn. What's the actor? Viggo Mortensen is like, I somehow have this debt that needs to be paid by these ghosts. I'm going to call them back, and then my ghost skeleton army is going to just
come in and wipe out everybody.
But they don't. There's still more battle afterwards. And part of what I never understood.
And he lets them go before it's done. He's like, you guys are released.
Yeah, the debt's I never understood why he didn't say, hey guys, you owe me this debt. I need you to finish this for me and just kill everybody.
Because he knew they had it in hand.
I never understood that. And to me, the dragons and then the Lord of the Light were the same thing of like, why didn't the dragons just fly low?
Yep.
Torch everybody. And then if the Milky Woman has this power to light things on fire, keep lighting things on fire.
Yeah.
Why just
they kind of forgot that they had the dragons, and they kind of forgot that she could light things on fire. So
even though she did it like 5 minutes ago,
they just kind of forgot.
So it's the Viggo Mortensen moment of like, why didn't you just ask them to stay?
You know, and it's funny because that bothered me about Lord of the Rings as well.
Yeah, it's like pause midway through. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
your debt is paid.
And
it just goes to show you why Aragorn was such a good guy. And I agree, Two Towers is the pinnacle of that series. And it's not just because there's 18 endings in The Return of the King.
The amount of times in The Return of the King where I got up thinking it was done.
Okay, so lots of running away. This plane was shipped from the start. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tyrion hates being in the crypts. This scene, okay, so I have a problem with this scene. So Sansa says he said we should have stayed married. And Sansa says, you were the best of the bunch. And he was like, it's not a high bar, right? Obviously, when it's Joffrey and fucking Ramsay. And then Sansa says, well, we wouldn't have worked because, you're Dragon Queen, you would have divided loyalties. And Missandei gets like all fucking pissy, like, yeah, well, if it wasn't for the Dragon Queen, we'd all already be dead. And it's like, fuck you, bitch, it was a joke. Like, fucking read the room, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, shut up.
I'm sorry, but like, she said that, and I'm like, I'm fucking glad you die, you dumb bitch. Like, take a joke. They're trying to have some fucking levity when the end of the world is literally outside the room.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what bothered me. I think it was just like, would they have though? If it wasn't for the Dragon Queen, you'd all be dead?
No.
No?
Maybe.
Like the exact same situation. A little bit quicker.
Yeah, well, they would have. I don't think they would have lasted this fight without the Dragon Queen.
They wouldn't have had the fire option.
Right. So then we go back to Theon and Bran, and Theon's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, and he's like, "Shut up! You did everything you did, got you here where you belong, home."
Pikachu meme.
Yeah. I'm gonna go now.
Oh my god!
And then
this
guy, the king, this guy is gonna be the king.
Is this the stupidest moment of the show? Because in my rewatch of this stupid season, that's the dumbest moment hey, let me just release this power that I've really never shown you before and I'm not using for anything useful at all.
yeah, like he doesn't do anything with it. He what? He goes to the birds and they fly by the Night King. Oh, there's the Night King. So now we see him.
Yep, sure, there he is.
And that's it.
But
and
we, as viewers, see not Danny or John. If anything, he warred into the audience and just sat back, relaxed, and watched the rest of the episode with us.
He's sitting on the couch beside us eating popcorn. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up?
They're like, I have to go now. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Okay, so the trench should have been deeper and wider is my next note.
And further.
My note was, wow, these zombies are pretty clever.
And then isn't the point of the trench to prevent people from walking over it? Like literally the zombies are just like, I'm just gonna fucking flop on the fire till it goes out, and then the next guy's gonna walk over me.
Yeah.
And flop.
And then when there's enough
look,
flop
we have a
zombies,
bridge.
we got a bridge. Okay, I don't think I'm missing much. Giant zombie. Oh look, nobody died again. So that must have been a fight scene where nobody died.
Once the fighting started, I had the same note. Once the fighting started, the tensions completely dissipate.
Yeah.
This episode does not stand up to rewatch. I wrote that a bunch of times.
And the wall defenses sucked. Where were all the pitches? Because normally when you get, siege in a castle, you have all these barrels of fire at the wall to drop on people.
Exactly. They need to have stuff to drop. And they they're like, they never thought, they're never going to make it to the walls. They're never even going to make it.
That trench that we cut out? Oh, yeah.
Ooh, we did not think this through.
Nope. Okay, so we got
Zombie
Barrick.
one is pretty fucking terrifying.
We got Barrick and the Hound, and Barrick's like trying to get the Hound back into the fight, and he's like, "We need you," and he's like, "We can't beat the dead." And I was, tell that to her, and you see Arya like fucking flippy doodling and whatever.
He's right though.
He is right. He is right because she kept going. No, but Barrick was right. No, Barrick was right because
I also mean the Hound is right.
There's a moment in this episode where they did a really good job of like, how the hell do you win this fight? We'll get to it when we get to it. But like, okay, so then after that we see Lyanna Stark die, because the giant picks her up and squishes her, but she fucking stabs him in the eyeball, which was great. It was great. She went out great.
Fucking badass.
Exactly how you'd want her to go out.
And then that's it. Another house wiped out, right?
House is gone. Well,
That's
not
it.
yet.
Well, at
but
that point,
not yet.
Jorah's
But
still
by the
alive
end
at
of
that
this
point.
episode, House Mormont is no more. So then we get the sneaky Arya in the library scene.
which made, pacing wise, it felt out of place just because
it totally throws this episode like it slams on the brakes for this whole episode.
Because you had all these like running, fighting zombies, and now you have Walking Dead zombies who are just slow and just
right. And then she gets out of the room, and then somehow they hear her, and then they're chasing her down the hall. And then my note just before that, her running down the hall is, how the hell am I only halfway through this episode?
Yeah, where's my next time check's probably coming up soon.
Okay, let's see. People in the crypts know it's bad. I guess they must have shown the crypts. And people just like, oh, sounds really bad up there. Okay, so then we get to...
my notes are, it's true, you can't beat death. Wait a minute, is this whole series an allegory? No, just kidding. It's all undone in a few episodes.
That's
when
right.
they beat death and then gently resolve it.
And live happily ever after.
And then, the folly of man doesn't matter. Is that the allegory? Just kidding. Nope.
Okay, so Barrick, Arya gets tackled and she's about to die. Barrick comes in, saves her. And he gets stabbed in the ankle, and then they're running away, and he gets stabbed again, and they turn the corner and he gets stabbed again, and then he's like up against the walls with his arms out, like getting stabbed in the back 1,000 times.
Yet no single zombie gets by.
And here's the thing.
Barrick.
So they open the door, Arya goes in, the Hound goes in, Barrick is like, has a zombie on his back, and they just push him back and then pull Barrick in, close the door. No big deal.
I'm fine, everyone. This is my next Lord of the Rings moment.
Okay.
because he dies in that scene. He isn't dead already.
Right.
The way I remembered it on the first watch was he blocked the door and died as he was doing that.
And it would have been better had he.
That would have been better. Like Hodor style, like, I
Right.
got this,
Yeah.
let me die to give you time to get away. And that was maybe like every character has a purpose. Barrick's purpose was to save Arya, who then blah, 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 killed the Night King. Spoiler. But this Sean Bean in the very first Lord of the Rings,
Yep.
Sean Bean, who is then Ned Stark, so that's the tie-in, gets shot by like 1,000 arrows.
It's a lot of arrows.
And he keeps going and he keeps getting shot.
Yeah.
And then he still has time for a speech.
Yeah. I would have
And
followed
I felt
you.
this was very Ned Stark, Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
I'm just going to do this superhuman thing. But then they do, like, I feel like they do literally Jorah later in the episode.
Yeah.
How many times is this guy getting stabbed?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, he's got to protect her. Okay, so Melisandre and Arya have their, hey, you said you'd see me again and that I'd kill lots of people. I'll check. All of that happened. And so, so she says, hey, I said you brown eyes, green eyes, and blue eyes. And Arya's like, oh. And she's like, yeah, go. So, and
I did like that moment of what do we say?
yeah, and exactly. And that moment of what do we say to the god of death? Like,
Not today.
and it's because her relationship with Syrio is like so, like it's so tied to my like love for this show because that's so early on, right? And I mean, Arya's been fucking awesome from the get go. So you didn't have to.
I guess I like the idea. Straws here. It's not just like I am not going to die today.
Right.
I am also then literally going to kill death.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. The double. Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way.
And
Okay.
this is also the last episode where we see her actually use her assassin skills.
Yeah, well, we'll see them in the. Did we lose Tay?
I think so.
We'll see her use them in the sequel series, the Arya sequel series that I'm sure we're gonna get.
When she goes out west.
Yeah.
Because, they could have had her, go in and assassinate Cersei clean.
I mean,
'cause-
there's a lot of things they could have done. There are so many things they could have done. Like, and it's funny because this season is easily fixed with small writing changes
Yeah.
and similar ideas, but just small logical changes.
Mm-hmm.
And this season gets a lot better. Okay, so we'll keep moving. I'm sure she'll rejoin when her
Restart the
internet
computer.
clears up or restarts her computer. Yeah, and I noticed because her microphone cut out there for a second, and usually when she starts
Yeah.
getting internet issues,
Choppy.
that's how it starts. So, okay, so okay, and then my next note is where the fuck did Bran go? Because they go back to Bran here, and then I'm like, why arrows? Arrows are such a bad weapon choice because this is when Theon has to finally start defending him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm frozen. Okay. She's just text us to let us know that she's frozen. You want to respond and just tell her to restart her computer? I'll hopefully cut all this. I probably won't, but I'm not going to. Who am I kidding? Okay. Oh, right. So now the Night King flies in with the dragon. Oh, shit. We lost everything.
Even you?
No. The picture, because...
Oh, because Tate dropped out of the call?
Yeah. So now everything's off. Oh, now it looks shitty. Anyways, I'll just plaster the fucking technical difficulty screen. I should have that ready to go. I don't know why I don't. Anyways, okay, so
Now we know.
So the Night King flies in with the dragon and fucking bursts open the wall of the castle. So fuck the castle, right? Who needs the castle
Because
anymore?
apparently fire is now an explosive device as opposed to just setting things on fire.
Well, that blue fire is different than the red fire, right? Like
Not later in the series, apparently.
this is the series.
No, I
Oh,
meant,
I
like,
see what you mean. No, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. I didn't even fucking think about that. You're absolutely right. Because it bursts through this wall like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. So, busts through the wall like it's nothing. And then John's dodging, like going around a wall. And the wall is stopping. Okay, perfect. Anyways.
Yeah.
Again, they forgot that it could break through walls.
Yeah.
So we get the dragons like fighting in midair, which was kind of neat, but not really, because you could barely see it.
Yeah.
Night King falls off his dragon. Jon falls, and he's like a mile away. So there's the Night King in the middle of the field, and Daenerys is like, "Fuck it, we're trying it," because they asked like, "Hey, do you think the dragonfire will kill him? Let's find out." So she says, her catchphrase.
Dracarys.
That's the one. And so my note is, well, can Dragonfire kill him? Nope.
Now
and
that
then,
smile.
Exactly. And he smiles and then starts walking. And then now John's close and John pulls out Longclaw, and it's like, sweet, we're going to get the big showdown between John and the Night King. Nope. And then so this is the part of the episode where I remember clearly the first time when watching this episode the first time, and he raises the dead, and so all the soldiers that have died fighting for the living are now.
You see Ed, you see Lyanna,
right, and they all get up and now they're fighting for him, and it's like, how do you win this fight? Because everyone that they kill now becomes a member of their army.
Yeah.
And I remember clearly thinking that, like, how the hell do they win this fight? Like, obviously, we knew that they were going to win, but it's just like, how do you get around it? Bad writing, that's how you get around it.
And lots of plot armor.
Lots of plot armor. Too much plot armor. And my next note is, of course, hey, look, no one dying again. Oh, good, just more troops. Oh, yeah, zombie Lyanna, zombie Ed. Here comes the White Walkers. Now we're going to get the cool showdown with, the White Walkers fighting each of our main characters, right? Like, yeah, like you get this White Walker against Brienne and this White Walker against Jon.
Given,
What's
his
that?
Sword.
Yeah.
Jorah's given his sword. Jaime has his sword.
They all have Valyrian steel swords specifically for this moment.
Yeah.
Nope. They're just going to walk into the Godswood with the Night King.
Like Reservoir Dogs.
Right, exactly. It's exactly like Reservoir Dogs. Okay. It is Reservoir Dogs. It really is. Okay. That's hilarious. Okay, what's zombie Starks? Okay, so they're in the crypts. All the zombies start coming out. And don't you think Bran could have helped out in any way somehow with his warging stuff?
Yeah.
But instead he doesn't. He's like, fuck you.
No, again, he's watching the episode with us.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
I'm back. I'm not videoing because I'm tethered to my phone, but I have stuff to say, so I'm going to blow over my data.
Okay. Well, so what you missed so far, and I'll let you get in on some of it because I know you'll want to. Does Dragonfire kill the Night King? Nope. Jon's right there, so now we're gonna get the big showdown with Jon and the Night King.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Nope.
All the White Walkers come in. Are we gonna get individual battle scenes, cool shots with sword fights?
All our heroes have Valyrian steel swords. Nope. Okay.
And as I said to Chris, all we get is the Reservoir Dogs shot. That's it.
Of them walking into the Godswood.
Yeah.
Well, because okay. Well, great. We're at really.
Yeah, this is like we're pinnacle. Like we're right at the end.
So we're at then where really when my notes kick in. Although, guys, we totally missed one of my notes, which is evil snowman falling is very funny. I don't know if you talked about it for listeners that I just cut out. When he falls off his ice dragon.
Oh yeah.
It's exceptionally humorous and obviously completely unintended. And then when he smiles.
Yes, the smile's bad.
It's also very stupid.
The smile is bad. Okay.
What's worse, the smile or the close up on his fingernails, which my note
Everything,
is why does he have
everything.
The
fingernails?
close up on the fingernails I thought was interesting because it's like, why does he have such long fingernails? Are those his coke nails?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought that too. Coke nail, look it up, kids. And then B, my dad, like obviously I grew up watching Star Trek because
Right.
I'm a giant nerd, so
Right.
I think it's explanatory.
Don't watch Picard.
Oh. And my dad's was always like, well, why are the aliens so human? Like all of the aliens have a head and eyes and a nose and a mouth.
That was Gene Roddenberry. Gene Roddenberry wanted all the aliens to he wanted them to have eyes. So that way you could connect with them. Because we're not going to connect with something that's a gelatinous blob.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that, but this is the embodiment of darkness.
Right.
And night and death, and he looks like a person.
He does. He looks like Darth Maul, but blue.
But shittier. You think it's the same actor? Okay,
No,
so
it's
we're
not.
at the gods.
Okay.
We're at the gods.
So we're at the Godswood, and okay, we're okay. I see, and I said, see, they're out of arrows. Like this was stupid.
You idiot.
Okay. Oh, and this was another thing. Because John's on the ground, right? And he's surrounded by the zombies, and Daenerys flies in on Drogon and just blasts all the zombies that are right around him. And it's like, man, Drogon's very precise.
Yeah.
And then we learned
when
that
the plot needs him to be.
And then we learned that the landing was not a very good idea because like she's standing there and it's like, what do you think these zombies are gonna do?
Oh, thank God. It's all over now.
And then Drogon flies off with the zombies all on his back. And I liked this scene because I liked the way he was like shaking them off.
Like a dog.
Yeah, exactly. But the one thing that bothered me is it looked like I'd have to really slow it down and pause it. But it really looked like that they used one model for every zombie that was on him because it looked like it was just the same model all over him.
Probably.
And I mean, probably because, you know, they don't have millions of dollars to make this show.
I think they spent it all on the ice dragon fire.
They probably did. Which me and Mark pointed out a hole with the ice dragon fire, which we'll get to in a minute. So, okay, so John's running inside to save Bran, and then we go back to the Godswood, and they're out of arrows. Why does it keep doing that?
So my notes for this scene is again, and Mark might know from playing games with our good pal Adam Ron. His catchphrase in games that we play is, "What's your plan here?"
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the Night King, what was his plan? Why didn't I know the point of your army is to wipe out the dead.
Right.
I get that. But
You mean
also
the living?
you want to the living, sorry. You also want to kill the Three-Eyed Raven
Right.
because he the memories of humanity.
Right.
Just send everyone at this fucker.
Yeah. But no, because
What was his
I
plan?
honestly think that he needed to be the one to kill Bran because everything
No, and I
hinges
get
on
that.
him.
I get that, but like, hey, let's have the army wipe out the 5 Ironborn that they sent,
Right.
and we'll form a circle of our dead army around Bran, and I'll just walk in and stab him.
Exactly. Yeah. So
will-
both
It takes time.
both
but remember,
sides
the
of the
first-
strategy are stupid.
First time he killed the Thread Raven, no hesitation.
Right. That's right.
Next one side out. Boom. Done.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
So okay. Okay. So now we're back in the crypts, and Sansa and Tyrion are somehow hiding, which I don't understand how that works because they're not exactly like with Arya. I buy it because she's like super stealthy, right? And she's super quiet, but they're like breathing heavy and like making noise, right?
Mhm.
So I just don't understand how they were hiding.
Especially with these, whites punching through rocks.
And then we're going back with these shots of all our heroes fighting and none of them dying. Like literally, Pod, Brienne, Sam, Tormund, Jaime, all of them could have died.
I thought for sure they'd kill one major character, but I guess that was with Jorah.
Right.
I thought for sure Tormund was gone. I thought for sure Pod was gone.
Nope.
And here's all your favorites from the second tier, and they're all going to be dead.
So while this is all happening, Jorah's fighting to save Daenerys, which is beautiful. I honestly like that. I thought it was perfect for his character. It was the perfect way for him to die.
Yes.
It was exactly, if you asked him how he wanted to die, that would be how he wanted to die.
It was nice that the whites gave them that moment to stop fighting for a bit. Let them have that moment.
We're not going to attack in a mob. We're going to
go
that
one at a time.
One at a time thing.
Yep, one at a time. Give you a chance. So then Bran comes back and tells Theon that he's a good man. And okay, Bran, you're back. Where were you? But okay.
Not a good man. I was just in some crows for no reason.
So then here's the problem with the dragon with the blue fire. So Jon is trying to kill this dragon, I assume. He's going to just run up and hit it with the sword.
Yeah, my note is, what's the plan here?
Fine. But we saw the blue fire blow the wall of Winterfell completely off. Like just wall's gone. Mm-hmm. And now Jon is hiding behind this wall or this little piece of rock and the fire is going around it. Can't get through it. But when you needed it to blow the wall open, no problem. Fuck that wall.
It's the same thing with the Bells episode.
There's
when you need
lots.
a big explosions, the fire will do that for you.
Yeah.
So I just, and I think it's so my notes are Alfie Allen deserves everything.
Right. He's real good. And listen, I do like the score in this part as well, because like they mute kind of the sound of the battle. Not mute it, but it's real low, and the score's in pretty heavy, and it's just like light piano.
Was Alfie running at the Night King?
Right. Just
my first, what's the plan here?
He's like, I'm gonna die. I just know it. So, and that's when I noticed that my sound was out of sync, and because there hadn't been any dialogue in like 10 minutes. So I'm like, oh, like, because when he stabbed him and then he snaps the spear, it was like way off. It was like a second off almost. Like, how did this even happen? And how did I not notice? Okay, so then I guess then we get to the big tamale. He's walking in, we see his fingernails. And then
we see all of our favorite characters slow motion.
Right. And then he reaches back for the sword like super slow. And then the one White Walker's hair goes. And he turns around and catches her. That was good.
Yeah.
But he forgot about the move. And so she drops it. Man, I love that move. I don't care. I'll love that move.
I did go back and watch that specific part a second time. I did rewind, watched it again.
She just drops it and fuck it. Oh my God. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, by the way, as soon as that happens, hey, Chris, dinner's ready. Fuck. So I'm like, I got 5 minutes left.
What was dinner?
Lasagna. Okay, so then he dies, all the army falls, and the one thing I really like about this is like everybody kind of like stops and like looking around, they're like, is that it? Is it, did we just win? Is it over? Like nobody knows what to think.
And I did like that there was a way to win.
Right.
It just should have been extremely hard. Like I do like the idea that, hey, this guy is the brains for, I mean, we'll talk Star Trek again. It is the Borg Queen.
Right.
And when this mainframe goes
or
down.
the head vampire.
But
it's more like the head vampire.
The head vampire, like in
the head vampire. Simpsons reference again.
Or Lost Boys.
Yeah.
But shit. I lost my train of thought. It's gone.
Dinner, you had lasagna.
It was back on Game of Thrones. Yeah. Oh, so Drogon comes in after Jorah dies, obviously, because they couldn't kill the Night King 35 seconds earlier, so Jorah could have lived.
I did like the moment when the dragon,
He has a little
himself.
nap, right? He curls up. Yeah. And then the last scene is Melisandre walking out, taking her necklace off, and fading into dust.
Yeah,
They should have played Dust in the Wind there. They missed opportunity.
Well,
So
okay.
where is Rhaegal after this? I'm just asking.
Right.
Uh,
Well, they just kind of forgot about Rhaegal.
They forgot about Rhaegar the way they forget about the Ironborn Iron
Yeah,
Fleet.
It's gonna happen. Isn't that the next episode?
It is.
So.
Oh my god, I have so many notes of trying to find. Oh god, 25 minutes left. Why does he have nails?
Yep. Okay. So.
And-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I guess the question that I did write down, when Bran comes back, he's useless the whole episode, and he Pikachus to Theon and says, "You're a good man, Theon." And Theon, did he why did he say that to make him charge at the Night King?
Oh, like a little put it in his
Because that
head.
was really dumb.
Go ahead and die.
Yeah,
You're
go.
good.
You can. You.
Go
Well, it was
die,
like
it's
you
fine.
can die now, right? It was like in Endgame when she says to what's her name, Pepper. When Pepper says to Tony, you can rest now. We're okay. At the end, it was the same kind of thing.
Ooh,
Only
spoiler.
less good. If only every series could end as well as Endgame ended the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it really should be the end, but it won't be because they got the money train.
Taylor never saw it.
That's true. And
Really?
then they're gonna
Wow.
yeah. And then they're gonna reboot it though, and then we're gonna have our 8th Spider-Man.
Wait,
Anyway.
you guys, neither of you have seen it?
No, Dave has seen it.
Oh, okay.
You think I live under?
I've seen the Avengers one before that 8 times.
Which one is that, Taylor?
I don't know. Avengers people go into puff. Avengers puff.
Cambodia on our honeymoon?
We did watch it in Cambodia on our honeymoon.
There you go.
Avengers people turn into puff dust.
Yeah, or Infinity War.
What's this?
The Infinity.
Oh,
It's
you're doing it. I didn't know what it was called.
That's
Well, there you go. All right, guys. I think that's it for this week. Does anybody else want to add anything?
That I want to state again
Yeah.
as I go to my dog. This episode, as garbage as this whole season is,
Mhm.
truly does not hold up.
No,
You
I
have
totally
one
agree.
chance to watch this episode.
Yeah. And that was
And
live when it happened. I don't even think.
And once you know what happens, there is zero tension in this episode, aside
Right.
from the first 5 minutes when they all think they're going to die.
Right.
And then it's...
Not only that.
Hmm.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and then it's just... This is not it was an hour and 45 minutes or whatever, an hour 20. I checked the time at least 6 times. How much time is left? Oh my God, how does this still keep going?
Yeah.
Because I guess when we watched it, it was, oh my God, there's 45 minutes left. There's still time for these people to die.
Right. And knowing that none of them die was
And I will say Arya killing the Night King was better the second time.
and I never had a problem with it.
I love that she did it. I guess the Red Woman really pushing her to do it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I still would have liked a Jon Night King face off, even if it ended with him getting surrounded by zombies and.
But I guess, and hey, look at me.
Or the
trying
other
to-
White Walkers.
The story ends up not being about him.
Right.
Even
You
though
think it-
they start the series with that whole scene, 8 years of build-up, and then it's like, yeah,
Hey,
we're
it's
done.
not all about him. Anyways, that's all. Those are all my notes, aside from my time checks.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's it for this week, guys. So we will be back next week, and we will be talking about whatever the next episode is called. What is it called? Does
The
anyone
Last of the Starks?
Last of the Starks. Very, very, very good. Okay. Well, so yeah, make sure you tune in next week. Check us out at rabblepress.com for other nerdy podcasts.
And cool sports podcasts.
And cool sports podcasts. We literally have it all. Literally.
And I love that it's just us again. I'd be like, hey, it's not the nerds. It's
Yeah.
the cool
No, it's the nerds talking like cool kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So make sure you tune in next week. We'll see you guys then. Take care.
You've been listening to a Rebel Press podcast. Visit rebelpress.com for more podcasts.